Hello, listeners. I would like to record a podcast. Hi. Welcome to Eeks and Geeks.
Okay.
You know I had to do it to him. It's Saw.
You're right.
I'm Siberia.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Pumpkin.
Hey.
Laughing at me.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen either.
Now, I like to keep you guessing.
Thanks.
We are on episode 45 of Eeks and Geeks, which feels kind of crazy. And we're kicking off our slasher block of movies. This is Kirsten's like magnum opus. Like so long for the slasher genre.
So excited.
Yeah. And of course, I've also noticed, I feel like when people get the categories they've been waiting for, they always go last.
True. I think you're right. Does that
zombie
happen every time?
I think you are right.
Not me.
Okay, well, fuck you.
You were third though. You were tailing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
are telling it. Yeah, that's true.
And we really still have to make you wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta
It's just
wait.
saving the best for last, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this week we watched Saw, and I didn't write a little blurb, but it's a mindfuck movie about people killing themselves under crazy circumstances.
If you don't know Saw,
If you don't know Saw by now, I don't want to.
we can't help you.
I don't know what to do
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. It's kind of basic.
Yeah, you're like for real.
Yeah.
But before we talk about Saw, did anyone watch anything this week?
The only thing I've been
Did
watching
I?
is a TV show called The Glory, which is really good, and everybody should watch it.
Oh, I've never heard of it. What is it about?
It's kind of a
I don't like it.
mindfucky one. Yeah. My like boss kept hounding me to watch it, and I finally did, and I'm like, oh, this is good.
I haven't watched any horror, but I finally watched the new Avatar movie.
How was it?
How was that?
It was exactly the first movie. It was
Really?
literally just the first movie, but with water.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I guess
I
if it broke.
I don't know. It just didn't feel necessary to me. It's like it's visually stunning or whatever, but it was just like, okay, yeah, it's like it's the same plot.
It's the same movie.
This is the same movie. And it felt, I'll be honest, we were like 30 minutes into it. And I was like, does this feel a little dorky? Like avatars now? I feel like it's a little bit corny. Like it really worked in 2012.
Yeah.
In 2023, it was a little bit like,
A
This is
twinge of cringe.
I don't know if this is really landing anymore.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make 3 more of these?
There's gonna be 5 total, which is like, what are you gonna do? The same fucking thing, but with Fireland? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, probably. Earth. Water.
Mhm.
Wind.
And then the 5th one is just an Avatar crossover.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
Like the
that.
Avengers.
Yeah.
They just all.
I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, it's called Avatar Endgame.
Okay.
I would piss my pants. I would immediately watch all of them.
I'd be like, sign me out, actually.
Actually, best movies ever made.
So no one watched anything else?
No horror for us.
I started that movie, The Mimic, and then it was like late, and I was like, never mind. So I'm like,
It was.
See, I really wanted to watch a horror movie last night, but my power was out until 3 a.m. So
just so sad.
I
just
watched
had
Saw
to
last
read
night.
a book.
Ew.
Read a book?
I read a book.
Ew, like some kind of
book, huh?
peasant?
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
it
even
wasn't-
know
and it
paper
was-
existed anymore.
And it wasn't even fan fiction.
No, it was just a paid book.
Does it even have a touch screen?
Can you
Oh, I-
swipe? You swipe this way.
Highly recommend Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's gonna be a movie on Amazon.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is that gay?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Gross.
Kind of like if you mixed Heartstopper and The Princess Diaries is how I would describe it.
Okay.
I need to
Okay.
watch Heartstopper. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
I just started it. Joan, I just
It
started
is my soapbox.
it.
Has to watch Heartstopper. You better leave this in the podcast. Everybody has to watch Heartstopper.
We are working on it.
Okay, Back to the horror. All right. Before I hear your final thoughts, I'm going to give you guys some fun facts about Saw because there were a fuck ton of fun
facts.
I can't wait.
So, first of all, director James Wan, who also directed The Conjuring. So, Lauren.
That explains a lot, actually.
Sue me for not liking The Conjuring. It's fine.
Okay, all I'm saying is if you like Saw, but you don't like The Conjuring, like get a grip. Okay.
Listen, I'll give the first Conjuring its merit, but the whole Conjuring universe, it's too much for me. But I think the first Conjuring movie is good.
Well, you're not a Marvel girly, so a universe really isn't for you.
I'm not into the whole universe.
Okay, so director James Wan built the Jigsaw doll from scratch for the film.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, it was not an altered doll, which is kind of freaky. Like, he was like, no, it has to be this way.
Like, he made it himself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What if he has it in his house?
I'm sure he does.
Creepy.
In order to make the actors feel what the characters were going through, all of the bathroom scenes were shot in chronological order.
Oh, that's cool.
That is
Didn't
cool.
help.
Yeah.
Traumatizing. We'll get into it. So Tobin Bell, the actor who played Jigsaw, actually was laying face down for all of the scenes in the bathroom. Like, there was no dummy used. Like, it was him.
I know, you could see him breathing. It was so distracting.
Oh, really?
I didn't even stare
that.
at him. Yeah.
I've never noticed it.
This fun fact was the one where I was like, yeah, we could tell. The car chase was filmed in the garage of the warehouse by turning off the lights, adding some fog, and shaking the cars while filming from the front.
We love a good practical effect.
After Amanda stabs her cellmate, Donnie Greco, the guts she searches through were actual pig uteruses.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
And then the last one, love this one. In contrast to the majority of horror films, all of the victims who die in this movie are men.
Okay, slay.
Oh, that's true, actually.
We love an all men death movie.
Yeah.
We love a lot of Final Girls. 3 of them?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Once you get into there's some drama. Once you get to like the second, third, and fourth movies, like there's some drama with them.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, don't get me started on the Saw universe. Like, I love this.
We're gonna get into it.
Final thoughts. Let's start with Pumpkin.
Oh no.
I texted y'all because I was like, oh, I'm about to start the movie. And then literally 20 minutes in, I was like, I had tears streaming down my face. I was laughing so hard. I was like, y'all.
Okay, because I forgot that you had sent that. I forgot to respond to it, but Siberia and I were talking on the phone this morning, and he was like, I think Pumpkin said she was laughing. And I was like, yeah, at Saw? We're both just like, what could she have been laughing at? But let's hear it.
Their American accents are so bad. They're so bad. I was like crying with laughter, like how bad our 2 main characters' line deliveries are.
Oh, Carrie Elwes not meant for this part. I'm not giving it that.
No, their American accents were I was like, you couldn't find 2 American guys? This is terrible. Of course, like, I haven't seen this movie in like 10, 11 years.
Wow.
And like back then, I never really like noticed it. But like watching it again, I was like, oh no, y'all's accents are so, it just like, it had me dying laughing. Like the way, what does he say?
What's the accent where's the other guy from?
One guy's from England and one guy's from Australia. But like Adam gets up off the ground and Lawrence goes in like this creepy voice, "You're not dead." And Adam goes, "Who's there?" And I was crying, laughing. And I was like, why are y'all talking like that? So distracting the whole movie. But then like some like other acting was fantastic. Like John, Amanda, surprisingly the little kid, like her acting was good.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
So
His daughter.
I was like, this little girl's having like an actual panic attack. Oh my god.
Is she okay?
Yeah, is she all right? It's very like early 2000s editing. It did a lot of the same things in 28 Days Later with like
yeah, I was gonna say that.
the cuts being super fast and the camera kept moving around, especially like the scene with Amanda. I was like, calm down.
Could you imagine filming that? She had to be like this for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, the cameraman's on crack. He needs to calm down. But I mean, like, it is still a classic. Like, I think my favorite thing about Saw is that, like, I didn't remember any of the riddles or most of the puzzles. It'd been so long since I watched it. So I was genuinely getting stressed also trying to figure out what that means with the characters. And I think that, like, builds the anticipation and the suspense and the, like, oh my God, oh my God. And, like, I love how clever a lot of the stuff in the movie is, like, a lot of the riddles and, like, hidden little clues and stuff. So like some parts of it didn't age that well. Like the actings of our main characters is pretty corny, but I still love what it did for the genre. I'll give it, I think maybe like a 7.
Okay.
Okay, a 7. I like that. Did you recognize Lawrence's actor from anything?
No.
What is he from? Because he looks
Prince
really
Wesley
familiar.
from The Princess Bride.
Oh no, yeah, I know that. I was thinking about the other guy.
But the other guy is
Adam.
one of the ghost detectives from Insidious and also wrote Insidious and wrote this movie. The guy who played Adam wrote this movie.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the Insidious movie, so.
I don't like you.
I love the Insidious movies.
I'm
beefing
actually probably
today.
gonna watch The Red Door after we get off of this call.
It looks so bad.
Shut up.
I think me and Siberia are the only ones on that train.
I love her. Insidious 2 with the drag queen ghost, like we have to say. Okay, Kirsten, final thoughts.
I have pretty much the exact same thoughts as Pumpkin. Some of those line deliveries, literally, I was like, "Oh, why do you sound like that?" It's just like, what is this voice? But like you said, like, oh, the other acting was really good. Like that kid, oh my God, like just like the little movements of like the voice raising when the gun come out. I was like, oh, that's kid good. It's and I like how it does things for the genre. My favorite Saw movie is, I think is the second one, the one with the needles. Yeah, that one's my favorite. Like I love that one a lot.
Saw 2 is good.
I watched that one today too. I just kept the gravy train rolling.
I almost did because I saw that Saw 2 was coming up and I was like, oh, it's my favorite one. So I still like this movie and what it did. I give it a 7 out of 10 too. I pretty much have the exact same thoughts as Pumpkin, so I don't want to like repeat. Yeah.
Lauren.
I think, fun fact, I think Saw is maybe the first horror movie I ever saw. I remember watching it because I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies, and I was at my friend, I was staying the night at my friend Katie's house, and we watched it, and I remember thinking it was the scariest thing ever because I like wasn't allowed to watch horror movies.
Right.
And I was so scared of Jigsaw, like the puppet itself, until I was in college. I remember I went to a haunted house in college and someone was like doing Jigsaw in a haunted house and I about pissed myself. I was like so scared of it. I think this movie surprisingly has aged decently. It certainly suffers from very 2000s editing. I had the same thoughts. I was like, whoa, very the 2000s of it all. I didn't see it so much as the line delivery was bad as much as it was just like bad dialogue writing, because I think they're both good actors. And I think you can really see that in scenes where they're not actually like doing the dialogue together, like when they're just doing like really emotional moments. It's like these are clearly both good actors, but it's like the dialogue is so bad that it like, you know, what can they really do to like deliver such like bad written, like poorly written lines? Yeah, I think I also think it's interesting that this movie sort of started the like okay, Leo just shredded a pattern piece behind me. Boy, he just shredded it to bits.
Leo.
Sorry.
Sewing pattern.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. No, so I think it's really interesting that this movie is like what started the torture porn like era in the 2000s, because I actually don't think this first movie is that gratuitous. It's like really not that heavy on like,
I remembered the leg cutting being like way worse. I was
they
like,
don't
oh,
show it for like
yeah.
a second. It's very like not as gory as the rest of them become, which is like really quite interesting to me that like this is the movie that like started this whole genre of torture porn, because it's really not, it's really not the worst of them by any stretch of the imagination. I think the ending is literally the gag of the century, and it was when it came out, and it like to this day it's still just like so good when he stands up in the room. So yeah, I like, we all agree how much he did for the genre, and I think I still give it like a 7.5. I think
okay,
I think it's still a good movie. Love it.
Nice.
Watching this movie today, it gagged me as much as it did the first time I saw it. Like, I love this movie. I think I can agree. Like, I don't think they're bad actors. I think they are the wrong actors for those two parts. I think with different, because I just don't, I can't see Prince Wesley as this. Like, I just can't. So, like, trying to get, like, getting after I get past that, like, this movie is damn near perfect to me, because I think the plot is so good. Like the way that there are little hints throughout, but it gives you like just enough to keep you guessing like the entire time. Like, this is one of those where like I wish I could go back and watch it for the first time again, because I just want to be able to like not know that he's gonna stand up again.
Yeah.
It's excellent pacing.
Good.
I will, that's part of my like,
I'm never bored.
Excellent pacing.
No, it's amazing. It's really good. And I think like for the budget they had, the set decoration is fucking awesome. Like, it's very cohesive. It feels all in the same world. Like, it doesn't feel like disjointed at all. Like, it's all very like grim.
Was it a real bathroom?
Yeah,
or was it a set?
No, it was all warehouses that they like built into, but I know the budget wasn't much. Let me look.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I was like, this bathroom looks so good. Like,
yeah, I was wondering if it was just like a real bathroom that they made look dirty, or if they had to actually like build the set. I wasn't sure.
They only had $1 million to make this movie.
1 million?
1 million.
Wow.
$1 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I really just think this is like a solid fucking movie. Like, and yeah, I agree. I don't think it's torture porn or gore porn at all. Like, very like, I don't want to say tasteful, but like it does what
tame.
It's very mild. Like, it really
very
is.
mild
To do for a Saw movie.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8.5 because I just love it so much.
Wow.
I think I'm resting at like a 7.5 or an 8. Like, it really is still
that gives us a 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of like perfectly in between the Rotten Tomatoes critic and audience, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I think
it's
the
a
critic
lower score than I expected on Rotten Tomatoes.
critics gave it like a 50, and I think audience gave it like a 90 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're like kind of right there.
Let me double check.
I also really enjoy, I think what helps the pacing like be so good and what keeps the movie so engaging is the switching from timelines, like from their current day to like piecing back like how it all comes together and merges. 50. That seems crazy.
And this movie does it very well, as to where like I just saw Oppenheimer, and it doesn't, it is like this movie where it switches timelines a lot, but it doesn't tell you, but it is so confusing. Whereas you know exactly where you are, because they give you enough context clues in the scenes before and after to you know exactly where you are in the story, even if they're jumping around.
You reminded me of something that I thought while watching this, though, because you said something about the dialogue just being badly written. And I remember there's like one specific scene where like the interaction felt so weird, but it was like a lead up to a flashback. And I was like, okay, they just needed an excuse to bring up that flashback. But like, it was such an unnatural way for two people to talk to each other. I was like, y'all couldn't have written that better.
Yeah, I think the writing is like not good in this movie, but which is weird because like overall it's like, such an interesting story, but like the dialogue is not
bad.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like really not good dialogue at all.
Yeah, it's like really good big picture stuff. And then like you get into the scenes and you're like, no, why'd you say that?
No, who are you talking to? What's happening? Why are you talking like that?
What?
I didn't notice the accents. I only noticed it once. Like one of Carrie Elwes's lines, he said something. I only noticed it once, and there was just one where he was like, I was like, that didn't.
He
land."
sounded like this the whole time.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
times
it
he
was
so
spoke.
bad.
Yeah, there were times he spoke. I was like, oh.
Especially he was, and that was another thing. Like I don't think they're bad actors, but it almost felt like they were so distracted trying to make sure they were doing an American accent that the lines were coming out weird. That's almost kind of how it felt to me. Like especially Lawrence's character, like he was like really trying to enunciate the T's. I'm guessing because he doesn't usually. And so like the words would come out so strange. And it wasn't like rolling out naturally.
Yeah, he didn't sound like he was from here.
I
No.
have to like go back
weird.
like with this, like with you pointing this out, because I really did like not notice it at all.
That was so
I'm gonna have to like
bad.
go back and listen to it.
I never want to hear anybody say that Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange American accent is bad again, because that was bad.
That was pretty bad.
Are we ready to get into the plot?
Let's get
Yeah.
into the plot.
All right. Chapter 1. A photographer named Adam awakens in a dilapidated bathtub and his ankle chained to a pipe. Across the room is oncologist Dr. Lawrence Gordon, also chained. Between them is the corpse of an apparent suicide victim holding a revolver and a microcassette recorder. Both men find a tape in their pockets and Adam retrieves the recorder. Adam's tape urges him to survive, while Gordon's urges him to kill Adam by 6 o'clock or his wife Allison and daughter Diana will be killed. Adam finds a bag containing 2 hacksaws inside the toilet. Both men try to saw through their chains, but Adam's saw breaks. Gordon realizes that the saws are intended for their feet and identifies their captor as the Jigsaw Killer, a serial killer testing his victims' will to survive through lethal traps referred to as games, whom Gordon knows about because he was once a suspect. Discuss.
Oh, I remember another reason I was laughing. When the lights in the bathroom come on, they're like, boom, boom, and Adam's like, ah, ah, and then like, it's so dramatic. I was like, they're lights, dude, calm down.
And what sucks is when the camera comes up and like you can like tell it's like a key going down the drain. You're like, nah, shouldn't you probably let that go down there.
You probably should have not. Yeah.
You probably should have got that.
I don't feel like nearly enough effort was put into sawing at the chains.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like if like slow and methodical, I feel like they could have gotten through it.
Yeah.
But the one guy's breaks, and then instead of like still trying to work with it, he just like breaks it into 1,000 pieces.
Across the room.
It's like you could still maybe use it for something.
Would it have not been much easier to get through like the prong on the padlock? That's way thinner.
Lawrence was trying to do that. The one guy,
okay.
Adam, was trying to go through the chain, which was like obviously dumb, but they did show a clip where Lawrence is like trying to get through like the smaller part of the padlock.
I missed that part.
But
I
I
was
feel
like,
if they had just gone slow and steady, I feel like that would have worked.
I would have.
Eventually.
My brain would have been like, just break my foot and shove it through the thing, not like cut it off completely.
yeah, pull a ritual where he breaks his hand.
Yeah. And just like squeeze it through there.
Also,
cutting it off.
I don't know if it would have worked, but I have seen a hack for if you're like kidnapped or whatever. It depends on how tight the cuffs are, but if you can get like a shirt or something in between your skin and the cuff, you can like, it'll hurt, but you can usually like wiggle it down off of you, like off of your hand.
I don't know if it's like it's like an iron clamp on the ankle.
I know.
I don't know if it would work the same on your foot, because like your hand and arm are streamlined, but
Yeah, your
foot
heel
like,
is kind of
I don't
big.
know if it could get it over the
ballerina point, like
Yeah, if you
yeah, you could like shove your heel into
like-
itself.
like,
Don't think the logistics.
Suck it in.
I don't think you could get it over your heel.
Oh, but also the silly ass zoom out on the dead body on the ground.
Yeah, the editing was absolutely wild in this movie.
I was living for it. I was like, this is hilarious.
But the prosthetics were so good.
The prosthetics are really
The
good.
gore in this movie is so fucking
All
good.
the blood looks like perfect. It never looks fake.
Yeah.
But this, okay, so the other thing I was laughing about, specifically, Adam says, "This is my first time seeing a dead body in real life. They don't move." And it pans over to the dead body and you can see him breathing. And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
I need to go back and watch that now.
you can like
Gotcha.
see I think he's trying
I
really
just feel-
hard because it's just barely, but you can see him
Mm.
breathing.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like they would really want to not have that in there because it's like the gag of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never noticed it, but I believe that and especially knowing that it is actually him, it's like, well, he'd probably just take the most shallow little breaths for 2 hours.
Yeah, it was only specifically because he said they don't move, and then it shows the dead body. I was like looking at it really hard, and then you see him breathe, and I was like, it does move.
Yeah, but back to him shoving his fucking hand. Like, would you really not check the back of the toilet first?
I would have checked the back of the toilet first.
I would have.
The heart is on the back of the toilet.
I would have probably been like, it's probably in here.
No,
I would have used my broken fucking saw to fish something out rather than put
I would have
my
probably fished
hand
it
in
out. Yeah,
the
I would have put
toilet.
something in there to like.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, we can just die here.
Although,
not put my hand in there.
hearing Jigsaw's voice over that tape recorder for the first time, it's still like a.
It's nice. I wanna play a game.
It really is such a spooky concept, though. Like,
His
it's
voice is so it's iconic. I love it.
Yeah.
So I remembered Jigsaw's whole thing being like people aren't grateful for what they have or whatever and whatever. But a lot of the examples, like a lot of the people that he's put in these traps so far, I was like, okay, well, this is a man struggling with self-harm. So,
Yeah.
I don't really know that that's fair.
yeah, so we're gonna punish him for that.
Yeah, I
was like,
was thinking the same thing. I was like, the motivation for him and like who he chooses is a little bit like, what?
I mean, even
What are you
like
doing?
even like Adams, it's just like he's literally like taking pictures of bad people. Like,
Yeah, what is the justification for him in there? I don't even know.
it could have been also just like to have him like because he's connected to
Yeah.
that whole thing. Because I know sometimes he does that where it's like this person's connected to you, so they're in this thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I guess the girl with the trap on her head, like there's just like someone in there. It's like, well, who's that? What the fuck they do?
Yeah.
Didn't he say no, actually, never mind. He just said your cellmate.
I feel like she knows him though. Does that come out in the second one?
No, then he was not dead.
Yeah,
He was not dead. What the hell?
No.
Jigsaw, you lied. Also,
Total
that
lie.
blade was so tiny. I was like, you have to gut someone with that?
If I was like her and I escaped whenever, I think I would lie about him being alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be like, he was dead.
Yeah,
He
it
was
was a
dead.
dead body.
Yeah. I think fresh, but like, you know.
I mean, it could be one of those things where it's like, well, this was in a system like making him knock out. I'm like, oh, well, I thought he was dead.
Well, I thought he was dead. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
like,
wouldn't have to
dead.
say like, oh, he opened his eyes like right before.
Yeah, you
I
don't say
thought he
that.
was dead.
Amanda's acting is great.
Yeah, I love Amanda. Yeah.
That part, are we good on section 1? Because I think she's in the next section.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. 5 months prior, Gordon, while discussing... Yeah, I'm in the right section, sorry. 5 months prior, Gordon, while discussing the terminal brain cancer of patient John Kramer, was interrogated by detectives David Tapp and Stephen Singh, who found his pen light at the scene of one of Jigsaw's games. Gordon's alibi cleared him, but he agreed to view the testimony of heroin addict Amanda Young, the only known survivor of one of Jigsaw's traps, who had been forced to kill and disembowel a man to obtain a key to free herself. After Gordon's release, Tapp and Singh find Jigsaw's warehouse using the videotape from Amanda's game. There, they apprehend Jigsaw and save a man from a trap, but Jigsaw injures Tapp and escapes. Singh pursues Jigsaw down a hallway where he accidentally triggers a shotgun trap and is killed. Super fucking violently.
Yeah.
It still like blows my mind like because I remember watching this for the first time and like, seeing him at the end and like, oh, and then you realize that like that's him. He's right there in the bed. Like when they show it, you're like, that's him. It's John Kramer. He's Jigsaw. You're right there.
I know.
You can end this now.
I just love how the movie convinces you it's the nurse guy for so long.
Oh,
And you're like, nah, he's just a little pawn in the game too, baby girl.
He's playing. You know, something that's interesting about like the Jigsaw universe, I think the most compelling traps are the ones that there like is a chance of escaping. And so that's why I think it's really silly when everyone's like, he's not actually a murderer. It's like he hasn't killed anyone. It's like, okay, but if you're putting someone in a trap that they like can't get out of,
there was no way for Adam to live.
No.
Or the guy in the fucking barbed wire shit. It's like he's not gonna get out of that. Like,
well, technically there was a way for Adam to live. He had the key. It just went down the drain.
Yeah, he let it go down the drain in the first literal second of being.
But it's like if you don't know it's there, it's like, okay, so it's like I think Amanda's is so interesting because it's like, okay, you can get out. It's very high stakes and it's very scary, but it's like, oh, it makes it a really good trap. So I like the ones that it's like there is a possibility of getting out and like winning the game.
Well, all of Jigsaw's you can get out of. I was gonna say all of Jigsaw's you can get out of.
Well, then how do you explain the barbed wire one? Like how would you ever be able to get out of that?
He had 2 whole hours, and you saw him 2000s edit scurrying through there. He could have taken his time a little better.
I don't know.
Because they said he cut himself so bad there was stomach acid on the floor. He was racing.
Yeah.
2 hours is not that long to
solve the barbed wire maze. Lauren's frozen. She looks.
I don't know.
Come on, Hereditary.
Okay, there we are. Now you're back.
Lauren said,
like.
Okay, well now you all have to do them, so that can be the thumbnail.
Oh, I was gonna say, even knowing that Amanda lives, that scene was so, I was stressed for her because her acting's so good. When you see the trap like yank open, you can see her start to panic because she's like, oh my god. I'm watching it like, oh my god.
She takes her sweet ass time doing everything.
I will say,
would be stressful. All right. It's not a lot of time to like sort through all the shit you got to do.
I don't think you just like stand up and you're like, okay, let's go cut this guy open.
I feel like I'm built different and I would be.
Sure.
I'm gonna put you in a saw trap and see what happens.
Also, the fact that is like a word phrase in culture, like a saw trap. Like, they really did that shit, you know?
And also, I feel like the reverse bear claw, like that one, is like the
iconic.
That is.
That scares the fuck out of me.
I want to cosplay it at Dragon Con because I was
just gonna say, like, that would be like a super fun cosplay to do.
I saw somebody cosplay. What con were we at? And I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, Amanda! Was it Dragon Con? It was some con. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Spoiler alert for all the other Saw movies. She becomes like the copycat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam is so fucking annoying.
Oh my god.
Lawrence is like, oh yeah, there's been this serial killer that puts people in traps, whatever. And I was like, how do you know?
You know
I
him?
believe you.
You know him?
I'm like,
he's like, I don't know the news. Like,
do you watch the news?
Yeah, Adam is like so suspicious. He's like, how do I know you didn't put us in here? And he's like, why the fuck would I, dude?
I mean, honestly, valid.
To be fair, there has been like movies where
you only have so much to go off of.
Right.
Yeah, because spoiler for the rest of the movies, I mean, Amanda's in those traps and she is the thing.
And fuck spoiling the rest of the movies because honestly, almost all the other Saw movies are so fucking bad.
No, I give the first 5 a watch usually.
First
three.
five.
I like the first
is
three.
crazy. First, I'll let you slip with the first 3, but first 5 is out of line. You are out of line with that.
Oh, the twist of the third one is also really good. I
Yeah,
like that
the
one.
second and third. The third one, less interesting traps in my opinion, but still a really good movie.
The second one has the best traps. We're gonna
Yes.
Oh, the
Yeah,
second
the second one has
Oh.
the best traps.
God, the furnace one is so
The
scary.
first one is a gag.
Furnace one's very scary.
You know, I was just watching the second one, and you know the one where she puts her wrists up into the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bottom of that box is glass. Like, why
Break
not
it.
just like break the glass
Yeah.
instead of putting your hands in the obvious like slicing
Unless
death
it's
trap?
like super thick, like safety glass or whatever that you can't break.
We'll
Yeah,
try
I don't
it.
know.
I know.
Yeah,
I was
I
watching
still
and I was
try.
like, why would you do that? Just break the glass.
Where did we
We ended off with Singh getting killed by the shotguns, the vertical shotguns.
Oh yeah, that brutal ass thing. Yeah.
Which
Because they make it to his lair, which could you imagine being the person in the saw trap and the police find you and they're like, never mind.
Never mind.
You put the curtain back
Oh
on.
yeah.
Well,
What the fuck?
this shotgun trap is in Fallout 3, and it killed me once.
Oh.
You like walk
I
over a
love
tripwire and there's a
once.
shotgun there and it just fucking shoots you and you're like, oh fuck.
Damn.
Anyway,
which one came first?
This movie definitely. But I was
Yeah.
watching it and I was like, hey, they have that in Fallout 3.
This might be a fun video game.
Hey, I died like that. I would no, if Saw were a video game, it would stress me the fuck out. I would
Oh my
not
God, I would
this
play the
game.
heck out of it. It would play
No.
like puzzles to try and get out.
I will
Oh my
watch
God.
that's so fun.
walkthroughs of other people playing it. I'm not playing it. No.
I wanna
My
play that
anxiety's
one.
bad enough.
the whole scene where they're in Jigsaw's lair, like the fact he's just such a theatrical little bitch, like having curtains over everything, and like I
Theater
was like,
kid.
you little dramatic asshole.
I forgot I forgot how much I love the scene where he like has like the wrist knives and does the dramatic like spin and
Yeah.
slashes his throat. I was like, bitch.
Listen,
And the
if you're
fact that he's
making
like, you tried to kill me, bitch. No.
if anyone who's making a little paper mache puppet to deliver your villain lines, you're a
Yeah.
dramatic bitch. Like
Yeah. That's a
Oh,
drag.
I actually have a fun fact. I just remembered about this. There was this reality TV show called Scream Queens, and the actress that played Amanda was the host of it. Some of the contestants that won, like their thing was they got to be in the next Saw movie. But I wanted to be on that so bad, but I was like 16. You had to be like 18.
Oh.
And like when I turned 18, they didn't do the show anymore, and I was like, no, that
That's
was my chance.
Are we ready for chapter 3?
Yeah.
All right. In the present, Allison and Diana are held captive at their apartment as their captor watches Adam and Gordon through a hidden camera. The house is simultaneously watched by Tap, who, after being discharged from the police department following Singh's death, has become obsessed with the Jigsaw case and remains convinced that Gordon is the killer. Meanwhile, Gordon finds a box containing 2 cigarettes, a lighter, and a one-way cell phone. He recounts his abduction in a parking garage by a pig-masked figure. Adam recalls his own abduction when he returned home to find a puppet in his dark room where he stored photos of Gordon. Discuss.
I remembered, I have it written down. The exact line that was like the dialogue was so bad and it was just to lead up to a flashback. I wrote it down. Adam says, how can you be the calm doctor guy? He's got your wife and daughter and could be doing anything to them. Are you thinking about that?
Oh yeah.
I was
It's
like,
all I'm thinking about.
I was like, Adam, what the fuck are you talking about? What does that mean?
I can't believe that's a real line.
Solve the puzzle and get out. Like, I went back and re-listened to it because I was like, what are you talking about?
Also,
aren't you thinking about your wife and child?
the ones that we are about to see?
It's all I'm thinking about. Cue flashback. I was like, that's so bad.
But also, what was I going to say? Never mind. I'll think of it again.
I can't remember where this is at, if it's in this, but there's like a really weird like cut where it's like them and then a car drives and it's the next scene.
Yes.
can't remember where that is, but that cut, I was like, what?
The little girl, if I saw a physical human man in my room,
Yeah.
I'd be making so much bigger of a deal about it.
Yeah.
But also,
Like,
like,
she
the
was
mom,
like, there's a scary man in my room.
but also the mom was just very like calm about it because she's like, there's a man in my room, and she's just like, it's your imagination. I would be like, huh?
A man? Because it's one thing to be like,
Crazy
there's
reactions.
a monster.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, you're imagining things. A man? Huh?
She's like, he talks to me. I mean, they're
You're
both
like,
just like,
okay.
Can you go tuck her back into bed? Like
Well,
it's
'cause
like
he didn't
she just said
look at
there's
the
a
closet
man
where he is.
in
Yeah.
her closet. It's crazy.
Yeah, that whole part, I was like, you're way too calm about your child saying there's a man in her room.
Yeah. I remember like the scene where Lawrence is getting abducted, like in the parking garage.
Mhm.
I remember that being so scary when
Yeah,
I
me
was a
too.
kid, and watching it now I was like, what is the pig mask? What the fuck
And also,
is that about?
what are you crawling for?
Yeah.
So strange.
Like,
Yeah,
Like,
like
taking me out.
it's so much like weirder and not scary now, but I remember that scene being like fucking so scary.
Oh,
And
I
I was
do
just
too.
like, what is this? Why is it crawling out?
Pig mask just equals like the most
Scary.
horrifying thing I've
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been in haunted houses where they have that pig mask and it like scares the crap out of me. But like seeing it, like you said, seeing it now, I'm like, that's so strange.
I
It's
would
so weird.
go to, like a true like Saw themed haunted house. Like it would be so slay.
That would be really good.
But I did think, is that the other guy's name?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that his abduction scene is actually quite tense with like the camera flashes
Hmm.
with like, and it does
And-
that like whirring sound for a long time. It's like,
I love
okay, this is
the
spooky.
zoom out where you can just see Lawrence's face through the doorknob hole. Like it just keeps zooming out, but you see the picture of Lawrence's face in the red room.
Oh, uh-huh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Keeps zooming out, but that's like what the camera's like focused on. I just
Uh-huh.
love a cool shot
Yeah,
in a movie of not a lot of not cool shots.
right. You're like, okay.
I'm stupid. I would not have understood half of, like, when he reads the cigarette note, I was like, what does that mean? What?
Because he said like there's poison in his blood. Like
See,
all
I
like-
would have been so scared and anxious. I wouldn't, like, I get scatterbrained when I'm really
Mhm.
freaked out. So I would have been like, what does that mean? Anyway.
But also, dipping
I
it
would've
in the
been
blood
the
is really smart. But then they show it later, and it's like covered in blood. So it's like, even
red on the end.
if you gave that to him, wouldn't he be like,
Ew.
ew, this cigarette is covered in blood? Like,
But
Yeah.
then I
It was-
personally was like, if that happened to me, I'd be like, oh, you're gonna complain about a cigarette
oh,
this
yeah.
in this part of the world.
Yeah, honestly, would I have given him the poison cigarette?
I would have.
I would have.
Yeah.
Forgot.
I would have given him the
Maybe.
poison cigarette. Yeah.
Their acting is so bad when they're trying to like trick Jigsaw into thinking that Adam died. I was like,
But I
You
sort of
literally-
loved that.
literally could not act if your life depended on it. Because
But
your
I
life
love that,
depends on
like,
it.
I love that in movies where like an actor who is a good actor is playing someone that can't act.
Yeah.
And they're like acting well, someone not being able to act at
Yeah.
all.
That's
And so
a
I
hard
did think
part
that
to
scene was
play.
actually
It really
very
is,
funny
yeah.
because it's like, oh my God, it's so bad. But they're like doing a good job at being someone who like can't act.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
It's like playing a drunk person. Like it's really hard to play a drunk person.
It is so
Mhm.
hard to play a drunk person. You think it's not, but it is.
Mhm.
It's so hard.
But yeah, the whole like, do you think you're gonna turn the lights back on and the person that's watching is gonna be like, what are they up to?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, like-
I'm not just gonna bully. And also, his fake death is bad.
It's
so bad.
And then when he gets electrocuted, he's like, he's like, you just ruined everything. And it's like, I got electrocuted. I'm like, you ruined it from the start.
Yeah, it's too bold of a move because you don't know what kind of poison it is, so you wouldn't know how fast to like start
'Cause,
showing the
Yeah,
symptoms.
that
It's too
guy has
bold
a
of a
poison in
move.
him, and he's been alive and fine this whole movie.
Yeah,
What?
like it.
Like
Yeah.
the hospital orderly guy, like he
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah,
So
slow
he
got
would
a slow
know.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And his tape at the beginning was like, the only thing you can do when you have that much blood in your system is kill yourself. So it's like, obviously it's like a super long painful. So to take 2 puffs of a cigarette and be like, it's like, well, I don't know if that's quite the move.
So was there really, because I mean, he's not really dead. So is there really poison in that blood, I guess?
I think so.
There
Probably.
probably is poison in the blood. It was probably like the
Mhm.
solution.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There probably was.
Yeah, it was
I
probably
do-
not in the blood, it was just like a poison solution.
It's also a
Okay.
gag, like in hindsight, when you know that Jigsaw is in the room, that he's the one electrocuting them. Is like, that's
No.
kind of great.
Like,
Because
he
you
just, like,
think it
has
would be like the guy
remote
behind the
in his
cameras.
hand, like,
Yeah.
He's like,
Just-
even with my eyes closed, I know that acting is
Yeah.
bad.
He's like, yeah, fuck you.
just letting y'all know, chapter 4 is like a long one.
Okay.
It's like, it's the meat.
The
The
meat.
meat.
All right, are we ready for it?
Yeah.
Allison, held at gunpoint, calls her husband and warns him not to believe Adam. Adam admits to Gordon that he was paid by Tapp to spy on him and reveals his knowledge of Gordon's affair with one of his medical students whom he had visited the night he was abducted. Gordon deduces that the affair is the reason why he is being tested. Adam finds a photo of Allison and Diana's captor, whom Gordon identifies as Zepp Hindle, a hospital orderly. At 6 o'clock, Zepp, seeing that Gordon has still not killed Adam, moves to murder Allison and Diana, but Allison frees herself and fights him. The struggle attracts Tapp's attention, and he saves Allison and Diana before chasing Zepp to the sewers, where he is shot in the chest after a brief fight. Gordon, only aware of the gunshots and screaming, is shocked and loses reach of the cell phone. In desperation, he saws off his foot and shoots Adam with the corpse's revolver. Zepp enters the bathroom to kill Gordon, but Adam, having survived the gunshot, bludgeons him to death with a toilet tank lid. Gordon crawls out of the bathroom to find help while Adam searches Zepp's body for a key. He just finds another tape, revealing that Zepp was just another victim of Jigsaw, following rules to obtain an antidote for a slow-acting poison in his body. Damn, bitch, this shit's crazy.
The foot sawing off scene is so iconic, and I think it's like easily the best acted part. Like, and the fact that it's switching from like them there and like the fight with the wife and the guy, it's just like, it's such a tense scene, and like the 2 guys in the bathroom, they're it's like so emotional, and like their reactions are like very stressful to watch. I really like that scene.
British or not, like, screaming is screaming.
The screaming
Like,
is screaming.
Yeah, I will say the acting there was really good, because it's like he doesn't know what's going on the other end. Like all he hears is his wife struggling, like,
Yeah.
and then he can't hear anymore. So just like that fear. Yeah, that was really good.
Like the desperation is so palpable.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was funny because after like Lawrence gets off the phone with his daughter and they're like, you know, screaming or like crying or whatever, Adam goes, "Are they okay?" And I was like,
Oh,
Adam, does it sound
Adam,
like they're
Shut
okay?
the fuck up.
You saw the picture of them bound and gagged. You think they're okay, Adam?
you think they're just dandy.
Adam was pissing me off this whole movie because I was like, boy, if you don't have a good thought even one time, I'm gonna kill you.
He's such a dumbass.
He's
is
so
a dumbass.
stupid.
He's so stupid. And the fact that that's the writer of the movie and he chose to make himself like the stupid idiot character.
Go off.
It kind of killed me though that Allison didn't just shoot the guy. She's like
Just
holding
Yeah,
the
I would have shot
gun
him.
with her left hand and trying to talk to him on the phone. I was like, I don't care that your daughter's right there or that you're trying to be a good
No, but,
shoot
like,
him,
he has
Like-
come into your home and
Mhm.
kidnap, like, shoot him.
kill
Yeah.
him.
I hate dumb, hesitant moments in movies. It's like,
Because I
where,
wouldn't.
like, all of a sudden you're having like a moral conundrum. It's like they're trying to kill you, but they've
Yeah.
been trying to kill you this whole movie, and now all of a sudden you like have your opportunity, and you're like, it's like, fuck you. That's so stupid. I hate when
It's like,
I hate when characters do that.
Because like all of this could have been fixed. You could have killed him. Take that to police and have them track where he's at, like his
Mhm.
location. Like,
Also, Detective Tapp is iconic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, true.
he's great.
Like, king
Sorry.
shit. And the fact that he, like, thinks it's Gordon so much, to the fact that he has an apartment next to Gordon's apartment to be able to spy into his apartment. I'm like, you're like wrong rabbit trail, buddy.
But with all the right intent.
Yeah.
He's another one. I guess because it's a police officer, but it's like, just shoot him.
Yeah.
Like
you guys are being dumb. Like literally just kill him.
You can at least maim him a little bit in the legs, like make him not walk. Yeah. Make it so he can't move. Like
also, Lawrence, like he's trying to reach the phone when he's panicking and he like can't get it. And then so he starts sawing off his foot. But I was like, take off your shirt and try to get the phone.
Uh-huh.
I also thought because he tried to reach something with it, I'm like, just pass that to Adam, and then Adam
he has like a box.
Yeah, and he can
box
like
the cigarettes,
and he can like pretty much throw it and like push it towards him, like with the box.
Yeah, I was like, just get your shirt or something, because the phone wasn't even really that far.
Yeah,
I was like, why is cutting off? I get you're panicking, but
cutting
off my ankle,
high panic moment.
Cutting off my foot is not the first place I would go to.
I also think top 5 ways I don't want to die: being bludgeoned to death with a toilet tank lid. That was awful to
Pretty
watch.
bad. Yeah.
It was good though. I was like, yeah.
I have to say, this is another saw trap that it's like, yeah, you might survive cutting off your foot and like not dying of blood loss, but are the odds that good? Not really. I don't know how I feel about the odds of surviving that.
I think the only survival was the key not going down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what would even have happened if Adam did free himself?
He just would have left and I think that's why he had Lawrence positioned closer to the door, so that Lawrence had a chance once Adam freed himself to be able to kill him as he was trying to get out.
Because I was wondering, I was like, would Jigsaw continue to just like lay there on the floor and be like, bye, I'll just be here on the floor with
or like he
Lawrence.
kills me and he's like, hey,
you did it.
you did it, bitch.
I mean, probably that was because it's like he wants these people to. That's like the thing of him. He thinks he's doing good. Like he wants these people to be better, but
like being like, I'm such a like
good.
horrible king.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
They weren't even that bad though. Like out of all of the people you could have like the guy with who sets himself ablaze or whatever, he was pretending he was sick to call out of work.
Yeah.
I was like,
scum of the earth.
I was like, I'm gonna end up in a saw trap. I didn't realize.
Poor Amanda has drug issues, so you're just gonna try.
It's like these are like deeply damaged people. Like in the second one too, it's like it's just because they've all like gone to prison. It's like,
oof.
Is that I don't think any of them are even like murderers or anything. One guy's in there for like weed. It's like, damn, he deserves to be in a saw trap. That's brutal.
Cheating on your wife. I don't know that you deserve a saw trap, but
I don't think that's like, a saw trap offense.
That one makes like a little bit more sense than most of the other ones.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of like have any of y'all seen Death Note?
Yeah,
it pretty much reminds me of Death Note, how Light thinks that he's curing the world by ridding people of it. It's kind of what.
But at least Light kills actually bad people,
like murderers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what Jigsaw's like. This guy called out of work sick when he's not sick.
Saw trap.
Death penalty.
You have a speeding ticket? Saw trap. Death to all of them.
You're a cameraman? Saw trap.
I honestly, I feel like Saw 10, they should revive Saw, and if Jigsaw was played by Wendy Williams, I'd be in.
Death to all.
Oh, so you want to play a game? Clappy do think she should die.
Oh, sorry. Did this part include when Lawrence shoots at him?
Yes.
Okay. The line is so bad because Adam's acting is good. He's like freaking out. He's like, please, 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 whatever. Like, don't shoot me. And then Lawrence on the ground, he goes, you have to die. I'm sorry. My family. Like, that's just all he said.
He just cut off his foot.
I was like, what is this
He's going through it, all
dialogue?
right?
What is this dialogue?
But I mean, he already lost. There's no point in shooting Adam. He already lost.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And the fact that, like, oh, we'll get to it actually. Never mind.
Okay.
Give us this juicy last little bit.
Juicy.
Juicy.
All right. The corpse in the room rises and is revealed to be John Kramer, the real jigsaw killer. He admits to Adam that the key to his ankle chain was in the bathtub. It went down the drain when Adam had first awakened and drained the water. Horrified, Adam attempts to shoot John with Zepp's gun, but John electrically shocks him through his chain and exits the bathroom, giving an iconic quote before sealing the door, leaving Adam to die.
Literally, I remember that being the gag of everything. Watching it for the first time, yeah.
Like
it is
never
like the gag.
Yeah, like never seen a better plot twist in a movie.
No,
that moment of watching him rise in the background was just like so good.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And him like peeling the prosthetic off is just like it's so brilliant.
The key to your chain was in the bathtub.
The whole time.
Stupid bitch.
The whole time.
The whole time.
What year is talking about? 2004. I was 12 when this came out. I was
I think
I get 12 years old.
I remember watching this at my friend's house, and I think I must have been like 15 or 16. And like that, when he stood up, I was like grabbing my friend. I was like, "What?
Wait, yeah, what?"
I literally was like, I was like,
that would be the worst way to die, just being trapped in that room in the dark. Like when he shuts it, I'm like, Adam got the worst out of all of it. Like
Adam's screaming.
Yeah. And that's how it just rolls credits and he's still like screaming.
And he's still screaming.
Still screaming. Yeah,
so good.
Because Lawrence is gonna make it. His face was white as a ghost when he was doing
he
that
did
thing.
not look good.
Oh, that's and also like John Kramer had to like step over him as he left. Like
go over you.
I wish we could have seen Lawrence's. Was he just like, what the?
Well, you see, you kind of see that in one of the later Saw films. They come back to that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they come back to that.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, they come back to like the very beginning.
It all like comes. Yeah, there's a bunch that like come back. Yeah,
I want to rewatch them now. Actually, this is like Paranormal Activity. I picked Paranormal Activity and I watched all 7 of them in a week, and now it's.
I know. I started the 3rd one, and now I'm like, I'm probably gonna watch all of these, aren't I?
I might go through them too.
I was telling me for saying 1 through 5 is acceptable, and you're gonna watch all of them. But okay.
Well, I'm gonna watch them all, but I don't think the majority of them are even close to decent.
I remember thinking, I don't even really remember the plot of 5, but I remember like watching it and being like, oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah, because they do get so torture porn, and that is like all the plot is. And it's so unfortunate because Saw as a whole has like this stigma about it. Like people think of it as just like it's all torture porn. Yeah. And so when people haven't seen the first one, I'm like, actually you should watch the first one. Like the first one is genuinely really good, and it's not that like crazy. So it's unfortunate like that they turned their own franchise into like this thing that people don't really like to watch.
When I think about
like they were subverting the expectation for a second, and then they like gave in to the expectation. You know?
Yeah, because when they say that the first year of torture porn, I don't my like thought process of torture porn isn't like that. It's like stuff like Hostel's
a criminal offender.
Yeah, or like
I've never seen it.
Well, that's what it is.
I actually like Hostel.
I know I kind of like Hostel. So
yeah. I'm always like, when people like complain, it's like, oh, it's torture porn. I'm like, oh, I like it.
It's like kind of fun.
It's got a cool concept. Like, it makes you afraid to travel.
It does.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, I'm already afraid to travel.
As a woman, already afraid.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game Over.
Yeah. And then
so good.
So iconic.
That like sinking feeling. Adam's screaming game over. It's just so you're like, fuck.
And then the dread.
So ungrateful to be alive, but not you. Not anymore.
Nice. That was
That's
good.
an impression.
And I like that it kind of calls back to, there's a line earlier in the movie. I think they find like a peephole or something that they could tell that like Jigsaw has watched one of the traps. And they're like, this guy likes like a front row seat to his own, his own setup. And it's like the ultimate front row seat is just being there. He's just there in the room.
Front row floor.
Yeah, not even hiding. It really is brilliant though.
I wish I could have been in a movie theater for this ending of this movie, because it would have been like what?
Yeah, to be like an adult and like watching it in a theater
and hear the audience reaction.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
I would literally let out like a little John, like a what?
I probably saw it in the theaters.
You're lucky.
Yeah, knowing your mom and grandma, they probably brought you there. You were like 6 years old. You were like,
I was 12. But yeah, probably.
But yeah, that was Saw. Unless anyone has anything else to say.
No, just a classic.
Iconic.
It really is.
And like I also like, because I'm not the biggest like traditional slasher fan, so like I was happy to be able to pick this to have like, it really is so different.
Yeah,
I'm not a slasher person, so when we got this category, I was like, fuck, I don't know what to pick, but I'm really glad I was able to think of something.
Which one am I picking?
No.
Yeah, it's maybe like a little bit of like a non-traditional slasher in like the typical sense of a slasher, but I mean he's still he's a serial killer. He's serial.
Yeah, because when you texted us and was like, I'm gonna change it to Saw, I was like, is that a slasher? And I thought about it and I was like, I mean, yeah.
I guess like I don't know what else it would really
he's the killer and there's a bunch of victims. Like
yeah,
Saw could go in like mindfuck, but other than that, yeah. I also don't really know what the definition of slasher technically is.
Yeah, I think just someone killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, it usually refers to like a serial killer or something, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
what
do you have in store for us next week?
What we watching?
Y'all are really gonna like this because like I said, I don't usually like slashers. I was Googling and I was like, slasher horror movies. I was going through them and I saw this one and I was like, that is slasher and I love it. I want to watch Pearl.
I just watched X. I'm so happy.
I can't wait to talk about Pearl because I watched it at the theater and I was like, oh my god, that movie was good.
Because I almost picked X for slasher as well.
That would have been good. Okay, you can watch Pearl. At least from what Google's telling me, it looks like you need the primetime or premium subscriptions to everything. But it says YouTube, Hulu, Sling, Amazon, Paramount Plus. Okay. Or you can rent it from... Plus
definitely has it on there.
Or you can rent it from like Google, Vudu, Apple TV. So it's somewhere.
You can find it.
You'll find it. Or you won't, and you'll just listen to us talk about it.
Exactly.
Hopefully you saw it in theaters, because when I saw it in theaters and I like walked out, like everybody in the whole audience was like talking about it. We're like, oh my god. I'm
excited to rewatch it because I also just rewatched X, so I'm like, I need to rewatch Pearl now.
Because Pumpkin, you haven't seen X, have you?
I haven't, but I'll probably watch it so that because I want to like, if there's like references in Pearl to X, I want to like be able to like
there's references
talk about that.
There are references to Pearl in X.
Okay, so
they're very interconnected.
I'm gonna watch both of them, but we'll be talking specifically about Pearl.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Same.
So you guys make sure that you watch Pearl before tuning into our next episode.
Fucking threat.
It's not. I won't hurt you, I promise. Siberia might. I would never.
You want to fight? You want to tussle?
Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.